Hello and welcome to Weekly MTG. I'm your host, Blake Rasmussen, but you're not seeing my face today because we've got something prettier to look at. We have some Modern Horizons 2 product ready to crack. We're going to spend the entire show today just opening some Modern Horizons 2, talking about what you can get where, so that you can get a taste of it before the set releases in paper. It is available on Magic Gathering Online right now, but you know what? There's just something about the real thing. So we're gonna crack a bunch of this stuff. And before we get to that, though, I'm going to do a little bit of news from this week. So earlier this week, and by earlier this week, I mean yesterday, Netflix was kind enough to unveil the future existence of a Secret Lair product that is going to contain cards with these two pieces of art. That's really all there is to know about it right now. We're going to talk more about that one as we get closer to the release of that product. After that, traveling back in time a little bit further, on Tuesday, our friends on the D&D side of the building unveiled Strixhaven, a Curriculum of Chaos, would be coming out November 16th. So Magic's doing a D&D set. D&D is doing a Magic book. We're just, combining the peanut butter, the jelly. I'll leave it up to your imagination which is which. Sticking with the D&D combination of things, tomorrow, Dragon Talk Live is hosting what I'm told is their 300th episode by some reckoning. It's happening at 11 a.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/DND. It is of interest to Magic fans because they will be unveiling 2 cards from the upcoming Adventures in the Forgotten Realms set. So definitely check that out if you are interested in Magic Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, both, one or the other. Just, it'll be a good time. Next up, we are going to, we'll do this. So we announced also yesterday that stores in the European regions would be allowed to reopen in-store play July 2nd. Of course, they still have to conform to all their local regulations and everything, but as far as Wizards of the Coast is concerned, sanctioning can re-begin in Europe July 2nd. Next up, yes, we banned Time Warp in Historic. I've already seen some comments about things to ban. I'll actually, if we want to chat about this, we can throughout the show. I was part of the conversation internally about doing this, and I'm fully supported this decision. So I think it was a good ban, but there's a lot of conversation about it, so we can maybe chat about it while we're opening some packs a little bit. Speaking of Time Warp, congratulations to Sam Pardee, who won the Strixhaven Championship with Time Warp in his deck, taking many of the turns, if not all of them, with his Jeskai turns deck. Congratulations, Sam, longtime pro, raising that trophy. All right, let's get to the main event. So we have draft boosters, we have set boosters, we have collector boosters. I'm just going to start with collector boosters. We'll do draft boosters if we have time, but I think because collector boosters and set boosters have a little bit more novelty to them, we'll spend a little bit more time on them. So you can see these are completely new. And yeah, as I am opening these things, if you guys have questions, if you guys have things you want to talk about, if I'm prepared to talk about them, we will. We obviously don't have any specific topics for today, but you know what? Sometimes I know things and we can chat about them if you have questions. All right, let's start cracking. I am very excited for this set. It has a lot going on for it. I've opened a few of these collector boosters. We opened a couple on stream last week. Chief Joe, can you expand on that question maybe about the differences in foiling between the retro versions? think what you're referring to is something we responded to on social media yesterday, but I cannot be sure. All right. In the meantime, while you're retyping out that question, we'll talk about the slots. So at the back of the pack, you'll always get a foil double-sided token. This one happens to be a food and a Phyrexian germ. The next cards in the collector booster are going to be 4 foil commons. We got a Jewel Eye Cobra, a Chrome Courier, a Tragic Fall, and a Mount Velis Masticore. Next up, we're going to have 2 foil uncommons. Healer's Flock, the 3 cards in 1 card. Flame Tongue Yearling, a card we revealed on Weekly MTG a while ago. Then you have, so this is actually, I really like these. The basic land is foil etched, and they really look nice. We got some older art on some of them, so there's an island that I really, really like. All right, next up we have Master of Death, a card that can come back pretty much as you want, unless it gets exiled. So this is the extended art rare slot. Next up, we have the sketch slot. We got an Esper Sentinel and a Prophetic Titan. Prophetic Titan, of course, a play on Prophetic Bolt. Esper Sentinel, getting a lot of hype in Commander. It's really going to be fantastic in actually a lot of formats. Next up, Talisman of Hierarchy, the foil retro frame. Very cool. We got a retro frame Blacksmith's Skill. You know, the game used to have a lot more blacksmiths in it, so this art really fits the retro frame. Next up, we have a Tribute Mage, human wizard that's going to go in. It's got a spot in several of my decks. I like blue decks. I like wizards. If there's any cards that you all want to take a closer look at, you can feel free to ask in chat. We got Goblin Bombardment. Ooh, and then a foil retro frame. Let's get this up here and see if we can. We learned in testing before that we have to get real close because of everything going on in the background here. It's a foil retro frame, Sword of Truth and Justice. Yeah, that's not working so well. Because this probably. Because that. Nope, we'll get it figured out. Maybe. Foil Basic Swamp. Let's see if we can do that. I'm having a little trouble with the autofocus in the camera today. And we will attempt to get a closer look at it. Oh, there we go. There we go. So it's got a cool texture in the box. You can see. You can really see how the etching looks right in there. Yeah, I really like the etched foil lands in this set. All right, next up, next pack. Let's just keep going. Grikos, the old border the retro frame promos. Could they be in etched foil? Could they be? Sure. I don't have any news or anything on that today, but they sure could be. Opter. Treasure. So, there's I see the question about the foiling process. So etched foiling, to be clear, is a foiling process. So the answer is yes, but what you're maybe talking about is the patterning. So etched foiling is the process of etching the foiling directly on the card. But the pattern of where foiling can happen can vary between set to set. So I don't think we explained that particularly well when we started talking about what etched foiling was. And that's a little bit on me for not understanding it. But the etched foiling is a process, and the way in which the foil layer is applied to the card. I don't know all the technical details, but there can be variations on where and how the foiling process is applied for the etched foiling. All right, let's go through this pack. We got, we have the token. We've got 4 commons, a Funnel Web Recluse, Disciple of the Sun, which is kind of like a small Sun Titan, Hell Mongrel, Nightmare Dog, Galvanic Relay, the Storm card, not really drawing spell, but Spin Dash. So I'll answer that question. What do you say to the people who say that the list printing is not a significant reprint of a card? Okay, so the question is in reference to an announcement we made on Monday, where we discussed the fact that Secret Lair Universes Beyond mechanically unique cards, a lot of qualifiers there, but that's what they are, would be getting printings on the list 6 months after. So to those who are saying it's not a significant reprint of the card, there's a couple things to keep in mind. One, the list is the effectively easiest way for us to get cards out soon, because there's no there's not necessarily, there doesn't have to be a thematic tie, so it's not like it has to fit with the world. It's not necessarily, it's not going to mess with limited because they're in set boosters. Wish I could get that to focus better. And due to the technical nature of our process, that is the fastest and easiest way to get them on the list. The thing to keep in mind is once we have made Magic versions of these cards in World Magic versions, and they've been printed on the list, they're eligible for printing in future products. So just because something goes on the list, that doesn't mean it's the only way that card is ever going to be available. It just means that's the most immediate. So I know the studio has talked about the fact that once a card has had a Magic version made, it could go in a Commander product. It could go in a product that has reprints in it, like Modern Horizons. There are lots of options once a Magic version has been made. The list is just the fastest way to get it out in the world. So I think that answers your question. All right, let's keep doing this, because opening packs is fun. Academy Manufacturer. So this is the extended border slot. So the collector boosters have 2 types of cards that are only found in collector boosters. Most everything can be found in draft, set, whatever. Only collector boosters have 2 exclusives. One are the Modern Horizons 1 retro frame cards, which are in the back of the pack, which we'll get to. The other ones are these extended art ones, and that's the extended art ones is that's what we've done for every collector booster, every set. Basically, if a rare or mythic doesn't have another kind of treatment, it gets the extended art treatment. So there's some special version of it. Then just for Modern Horizons 2, as a special like bonus, the MH1 retro frame cards show up only in foil. All right. Ooh, that's a Borderless Fury. Yeah. So some cards got the Borderless treatment. It's a small subset of cards. We got another Blacksmith skill. Why not? Why not? Gargadon, the middle child in the lesser and greater Gargadon family. You can even, so the cool thing about the sketch card, and let me see if I can show this. The bottom describes, there it is. Has a bit of the art description, not the whole thing, but a bit of it. Magic has made a greater Gargadon and a lesser Gargadon. See reference. We want you to design the average Gargadon. So there it is, everyone. The average Gargadon. Is there any chance Pioneer could get a set like MH1 or MH2 in the future? Sure, there's a chance. All right, we got a retro frame Mind Collapse in the etched foil. Ooh, these last 2 are nice. So we've got a modern frame, but etched foil Cabal Coffers. That is nice. I do not have any update on Pioneer and Arena. You know, it's funny. It's funny, I guess. It's the most commonly asked question on this stream, whether we're talking about Arena or not. But no, I don't have any update on that. All right. That is a nice looking Vindicate. All right. Keep going. Keep going. We'll do some set boosters too. So we got a Squirrel Beast token. All right, commons. We got Viashino Lashclaw, Sinister Starfish. That one's a fun callback. Steelfin Whale, Goblin Anarchomancer. So that is a common that I think is going to, any sort of cost reducer is going to have a lot of opportunity to shine. So I think that this card is maybe a little bit underrated right now. Road to Ruin, one of the uncommon foils. Filigree Attendant, another one. Okay, so this is this is one of the ones I really like when it comes to the etch foil basic lands. I think this is my favorite Plains art by Eric Peterson or Peterson. There we go. Yeah, that is a nice looking foil etched. We've got Extended Diamond Lion. Lion's Eye Diamond's burlier, but less powerful cousin. We got some Sketch Kitchen Imp. So sketch. Ooh. Chatterfang Squirrel General with the borderless treatment. That's really cool looking. Gargadon. Oh, this is nice. Ephemerate in the retro. So I play a lot of Canadian Highlander, for those who haven't heard me talk about it before, which is all three of you. And Ephemerate is a powerhouse in that form. Oh, hey, look at this. We got the Beast token. We got the Hunting Pack. They go together. Can't Cunning Wish for it anymore. Or at least not the way we did. At least not the way we did back in my day. We've got Ave, Progenitor Ooze, and then Retro Frame Asmar. I can't pronounce it. Can't do it. But yeah, in the retro frame, that's really nice. I may have to build this commander deck now. Might have to do it. Answer some of these questions real quick. The news at the beginning about Forgotten Realms. Yeah, there's a little bit. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/DND, we are going to the D&D team is going to be previewing 2 Adventures in the Forgotten Realms cards. So you can definitely check that out. Arcbound Slasher. I really like this reference just because Slash Panther was a vintage powerhouse for like a hot second. Came out of nowhere, but you could cast it off of Mishra's Workshop and it killed Jace. That was its qualification. Never saw it play in any format before or since, but it had its moment in the sun, and now we remember it through Arcbound Slasher. How did they decide which cards got what different kind of borders in this set? They kind of picked it. There was not a like. So any of the Modern Horizons 1 cards that were reprinted in that slot, all retro frame. Everything else, it was a little bit of, we like this, and so let's do it. For the sketch ones, I know that they actually commissioned more sketch pieces than they used, and then they picked the ones that they liked best. Ooh, that's a nice Timeless Witness. And then for the retro frames, kind of a little bit same thing. They picked cards that they thought were powerful, They picked cards that the art worked for it. So Modern Horizons 2 was a little bit different, and basically I love that I'm showing the land on everyone. That's how much I like these etched foil lands. And I generally like the ones that are textless, but I really like these lands. Preview schedule for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. It's coming up. I don't know exactly when we're going to talk about the schedule, but there's lots of stuff coming up. We got a Necrogoyf. We got a Sketch Rakdos Headliner. Excuse me. Ooh, Sketch Ignoble Hierarch. I would actually argue Ignoble Hierarch is better than Noble Hierarch, mostly because it has a better creature type line. We got a foil retro frame, Weather the Storm. I was talking about this card earlier, but I actually... Oh, whoa. Okay, so this can happen. A little sneak peek there. One of these, so we'll hold these up closely. I had this happen in a test pack too. So this one, regular frame. Or sorry, regular foiling. This one, foil etched. Let's see if we can get them close and take a look, because we're not going to get this opportunity very often. Come on, that's the whole screen camera. Let's sit there for a second, see if it'll adjust. What do you want from me? Too close? What do you want from me? Camera. I'm going to drop it and it's going to jump focus. Told you. I told you. All right, let's try this one more time. The camera's just having identity issues today. It doesn't know where to focus. It doesn't know what to look at. Let's move that. Move that. I really want you guys to get a look at this because, oh God, that's frustrating. There we go. Okay. Looking at the screen, the one on the left is etched. The one on the right is regular foil. And of course, then it immediately goes blurry. There we go. So it just has a different textured look to it. Speaking of, all right, we got a Chainer, Nightmare Adept. So I do need to build a black-red commander deck. I've been working on all the color combinations, and black-red is not one I have. So Chainer is an interesting one. And then we got this fantastic foil, full frame, or not full frame, extended frame Marsh Flats. All right. Crab token. Squirrel token. All right, we got a Foundry Helix. Recalibrate. Thorn Glint Bridge, part of the new Artifact Land Cycle. Arcbound Mouser. Flame Rift. Someone was talking about this card being in the set, and I thought it was a joke because it's a big set, man. I didn't remember it was in the set. But this card gives me nightmares. Nightmares. I almost exclusively play decks that lose to burn. Just mono lose to burn in every format. Rob Alexander Forest. It's pretty. Resurgent Belief. This will go in my enchantment deck. Enchantment commander deck. Lens Flare. Ooh, fancy Garth One Eye. It's not foil, but the Sketch Garth One Eye. The Mood. A powerful, quirky, curious man. This is just another opportunity to show off my copy of Arena, where Garth One Eye is from. I've read that book half a dozen times, probably. Do fetch lands show up at the same rate as other rares, or is it different for them? Within their given slots, they show up at the same rate as other rares. However, fetch lands have multiple different versions. So they have the retro frame, they have the extended frame, and then they have the normal frame. And not many rares get all three of those treatments. All right. We got a sketch foil Lazatep Chancellor. A retro frame Glimmer Bairn. When can we expect to hear news about the upcoming Secret Layers? Shortly. Ooh, that's nice. I like my Ice Age Xehanort, but that's pretty nice. You'll hear about them shortly before they're available. They don't have the same preview issues with shipping and everything that other things do, so we tend to preview them closer to when they release. Karth the Lion in the foil retro frame. That's really nice. This is one I'm looking at for a black-green commander deck, maybe, because I also don't have one of those. And I'm not a boomer. I'm what they call an elder millennial, apparently, which is insulting and weird and displacing all at the same time, which actually describes my generation perfectly. All right, we got an Air Amoeba, Burden Aerialist, a Dusk, Shell Crawler, a Silver Bluff Bridge, Graceful Restoration. We got a Ravenous Squirrel, perfect for sacrifice decks. Do I have a favorite archetype that got new support in MH2? I always have a soft spot for Merfolk, and new Merfolk God looks amazing. Village Plains. Yeah, it's so elder millennial. Like they define us as the generation, quote unquote, that was born between 1980 and 1985. It's interesting because my wife's not much younger than me, but the dividing line that this is not a magic topic at all, but that's fine. The dividing line that a lot of people use is whether or not you were in the job market before or after the crash of 2008. And I was already working at 2008. I was not affected by the recession. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I like that Imperial Recruiter. I was not affected by the recession. I've worked pretty steadily since I entered the job market and never had a period of unemployment that was forced. So that's one of the ways they define the generational experience. Oh, we did it. We did. I mean, these cards are great. Magic the Bridge Sketch, Llanowar Tribe, but yeah. Retro frame, foil etched Scalding Tarn. Yeah. That's nice. All right. We're not going to end collector boosters, but we're going to take a break on that high note to do a couple set boosters, so we can chat about those as well. Yeah, we'll just leave that Scalding Tarn there, so anyone who jumps in the stream can be like, yeah, that right there. All right, let me open up this set booster box. We'll open up a couple set boosters. I know people want to see the collector booster stuff because it's fancy. So we'll definitely get back to that. I've still got about half the box left, so plenty of good stuff to go. I will finish the collector box, but I'm gonna do a couple set boosters. Maybe we'll do set boosters until we open up a card from the list, and then we'll go back to collector. All right, let's see what we got here. Jar Jar Binks God, is it only possible to get one of that art style in the collectors? Not 100% what art style you're referring to. If you're referring to the retro frame, no, you can get the retro frames in all the boosters, except for the MH1 cards. So set boosters contain an art card. You got some lands. So this is one's going to have an artifact, a blue-white artifact theme. So what you'll see, blue-white artifact land, Chrome Courier, Ornithopter, Paris. And when I say theme, they do these runs within set boosters so the cards are connected. The uncommons are just uncommons. Here we got Break the Ice, Sudden Edict, Tide Shaper, really good Merfolk, Out of Time, can you get old border and full art in regular packs? So the only things that you cannot get in all packs, so there are two things that are exclusive to collector boosters. Everything else is available in all packs. The two things that are exclusive to collector boosters are the MH1 retro frame foils and the full art, or sorry, the extended art rares. So those are the only two things. For a second, I thought Angelic Curator is so like old and kind of random that I assumed this was a card from the list. It's not. It's in the set. It's in the set. So, for example, here's a foil retro frame Arrow Amoeba found in a set booster, and then I got a card from the list. It's a Canyon Jiroba. We won't stop there. I know we said we'd stop when we hit a card from the list, but we'll do at least these four. We got a little art card for Chef's Kiss. All right, we got a Plains, Landscaper Kolos, Breathless Night. Oh, so I think, okay, like cycling. Yeah, it's like a cycling reanimator group of cards. So the first bit of set boosters, they're all going to be related in some way. Whether it's color or theme or whatever it might be. And then again, the uncommons are just kind of those. Scurry Oak, part of the new and much worse Splinter Twin combo. Dermo Taxi. Ooh, Sterling Grove. That's great. Abundant Harvest as a sketch card. A foil Shattered Ego. Yeah, I'm curious how many of you are actually going to play in pre-releases this weekend. I know some stores are holding them in person, some stores are doing them virtually. How many of you are playing in pre-releases this weekend? It's a Junk Winder. All right, let's figure out what the theme is here. We got Enchantment Creature, Artifact Land. Okay, so I think, yeah, okay. So this group of cards are cards that have either multiple card types, so Enchantment Creature, Artifact Land, Enchantment Creature, or Delirium, which takes advantage of multiple card types. Going to Zulus. Oh, you're local. 2 pre-releases. I do miss the days of like midnight pre-releases. Ooh, a Riptide Laboratory. I love Riptide Laboratory so much. This is one I would probably try to make this work in Modern. It may be a little bit too dirtly, but it's so good. I used to love going to F&M and like playing the old format standard, running out to get lunch or like a late dinner beforehand, coming back, doing midnight pre-release, being there till 5 a.m. and then sleeping all Saturday. Of course, I am an elder millennial, which means I'm old. And that means that these days I can't do that because I have 3 children. 3 children, all under 3. Yeah, the fetch was pulled out of a collector booster. All right, so let's see. What's our theme for these? We got Morbid, Death Touch Reach, creates a treasure token, sacrifice. Okay, so these are connected by sacrificing. Things to sacrifice. Clattering Augur. Another good card to sacrifice. Timeless Witness. Ooh, a Persist. Ooh, this is the Reanimator pack. Look at that. Look at that. Persist and a Priest of Fell Rites. Very powerful cards. Greed, Floodhound, Flourishing Strike. All right. Those are my... I love my kids, but I also love Magic. Not as much as my kids. All right, let's get back to some collector boosters because Why not? Yeah, the old border bone shards shocks me every time because it just looks like a card I would open up in a Fallen Empires pack. Like that would not be out of place, like being open next to a Hymn to Turok. Yes, in a set booster, the first 3 commons have a theme. They're connected in some way that you would often want to play them together. The idea is set boosters are meant to give a little bit more cohesiveness, so that players, they're great for players who are opening the packs to build a collection. And so you want cards that have similar themes so that players can start building on that. Oh, thank you, producer Sean. I don't know how long that's been up there, but I appreciate the elder millennial joke. Do my first 3 kids of the pack have a theme? Well, let's see. Jace has a magic name, and then Lily and Isla are twins, so I'm sure there's something in there. This is a nice island. It's not my favorite island, but it's real pretty. Again, the foil ed. I know this isn't the retro frame border, but it just has a retro feel to it. Another Asmore, another Lazatet Chancellor, Harmonic Prodigy, Wizard Harmonicon, Wizard Panharmonicon. Ooh, foil sketch Abundant Harvest. This is going into my. This one's probably going to go into my Sultai Canadian Highlander deck. Lava Slivers are another one that look great in the retro frame. Another Glimmer Baron. Ooh, yeah. Retro frame Piru, probably going into my Dragon's deck. Extended foil Master of Death, and a Food and Thopter token. So my Lily is actually not named after Liliana. Her name is actually Lily. It is not long or anything like that. It's 4 letters. Had nothing to do with magic. Jace did. Mostly because my wife heard the name and really liked it and didn't realize that she heard it from Magic. And she brought it up. I was like, that's a Magic character name, right? She said, oh, that must have been where I heard it. And she did not need to convince me. Ooh, the Pete Venter Swamp. That's another nice one. I love that I'm spending most of my time. Ooh, speaking of lands, extended non-foil Misty Rainforest. Abundant Harvest. Obsidian Charmaw. Foil Retro Frame Fairy Seer. Foil Sketch Rakdos Headliner. Prismatic Ending. And then, ooh. Retro Frame Necrogoyf and Glimpse of Tomorrow. Those are fun. Those are fun. Why did the fetch lands not get new art? I don't know. It's not up to me. Not up to me. And I honestly don't know the story behind the art. It could be that they decided we needed more copies of that art out in the world. Could be that the art's great, because it is, and they just decided not to change it up. But I don't actually know the answer to that. Every time I read Ornithopter in Paradise, I hear that song in my head. The John Avon Forest. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Extended Verdant Catacombs. Jade Avenger. Sketch. Let's see. The action says, show a frog samurai who's a master swordsman. Skilled and agile, he stands about 4 feet tall and wields a dash. See reference. Love when they say see reference. Marble Gargoyle is, it is oddly enough maybe my favorite card in the retro frame, just because it really feels old. Like it's not a good card, but the take on Granite Gargoyle is great. All right, Mind Collapse, Galvanic Relay. Ooh, oh, look at that. Yep, that's a booster with 2 fetches in it. Foil Extended Arid Mesa. And an Extended Verdant Catacombs. In addition to that Territorial Kavu, who's fantastic. Yeah, that's a solid pack. Solid pack. Anyone with... Have I opened one of each of the fetches? Producer Sean is asking. I think I did. Let's see. There's this call. I mean, they're not all the same style, which would be real weird. But let's see. There's the Marsh Flats. Yeah, I thought there was a blue-green in here as well. I thought Misty. I thought it was recent. Yeah. Not there. Where are you at, Misty? A couple of coffers is still really nice. Where are you at, Misty? Oh, did I open a Misty in the set booster? It's all blurring together. Yeah, it felt more recent than that. No. Did I just randomly... Where are you at, Misty? Are we collectively hallucinating this? Or am I just terrible at finding things? Nope, it's right here. There it is. So yeah, we got 2 regular extendeds, 1, 2 foil extendeds, and then a retro frame. And we've got 3 packs left in the box. So pretty good as far as fetches go. We'll see if we can get... see a couple of questions about getting the Tarn up close. We did this earlier, but it's oh so very pretty. Yeah, that card looks great. All right, more Abundant Harvest. Can't say no to that. Dray Keeper, lots of squirrels. Foil Counterspell. That's nice. Heather Hudson Mountain. All right, Suspend. Ooh, that is a pretty Mishra's Factory. Faithless Salvaging, Vile Entomber, Ephemerate. We did it. I still got 2 packs left. How is this real? How is this real? All right, well, we haven't opened one of each now because that is a foil retro Misty Rainforest. Yeah, the set is print to demand. Yeah, this was a good box to open on stream. Wow. Yeah, and Svellian. Oh, I wanted one of these too. Yeah, that is a nice looking Misty Rainforest. I mean, like, this Mishra's Factory is nothing to sneeze at either, but whoo! If I didn't open the box wrapper on stream, you wouldn't believe me. Still 2 more packs. What are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? custom streamer box. Man, I wish we were that good. All right. What are we gonna get? There. Okay, so this is my favorite land in the set. The Douglas Schuler Island. It's got a real Mirage vibe to it. Got Timeless Dragon, another favorite of mine from the set. Faithless Salvaging. Sketch Priest of Fellrights. Talisman of Resilience. Arcbound Shikari. More Blacksmith Skill. Ooh, Foil Solitary Confinement. That's nice. And a Dress Down. Yeah, that'll go in my Enchantress deck. We got a bird. We got a treasure. It's a bird treasure. Bird treasure. All right. Aeromoeba. Burdened Aerialist. Duskshell Crawler. Silver Bluff Bridge. Fey Offering. Sweep the Skies. Ooh, Lightning Storm Plains again. Nice one of those. Glimpse of Tomorrow Extended. Regular Gargadon. Regular. Ooh. Hi, Shivam. This one's not foil, but it is extended. It is pretty. Excuse me. Nested Shambler. Abundant Harvest. Little generous gift here. A little foil Shardless Agent. And a foil Extended Glimpse of Tomorrow. All right, so that is what I have for that box of collector boosters. I have more set boosters, I have draft boosters, and I do actually have more collector boosters. So chat, what kind of booster would you like to see me open? I have all the options. I came prepared. We do have another one of these. We've got more set boosters. And we've still got that draft booster box too. All right, I got one vote for draft, set, draft. Let's do, all right. Draft. Let's do draft boosters. We'll do a little pack one, pick one. Why not? And then we'll do a couple draft boosters. Maybe we'll round it out with a set booster or two. Here, we'll do a couple draft boosters. All right. Let's see. Draft booster number 1. All right. Orchard Strider. Gouge Zealot. Mental Journey. Deepwood Denizen. Sinister Starfish. Late to Dinner. Retro Frame Mind Collapse. Goblin Anarchomancer. So I have not drafted this set yet. I've seen the whole set. I can make an educated guess as to what I would take first. But we'll see. Beast of Sanity, Greed. Search the Premises, and a food token. Okay. First, pack one, pick one. So this is going to be a synergy format. You're really going to want to lean on things that work together. Basic land cycling is just generally strong. Late to Dinner is a great Reanimator card. Abundant Harvest is pretty cleanly going to make any green deck that you play. If you want to stay open, I think I would take Ornithopter of Paradise from this pack. It feels like a relatively weak pack. And I don't think I'd want to commit Greed and Late to Dinner are straight up the most powerful cards. Search Supremacist has some, like, it would fit in the enchantment archetype. They have, like, there's no one else for them to attack. So it basically reads whenever a creature attacks, whenever an opponent's creature attacks, you investigate. So it is a pretty strong card draw engine. Strider and Mental Journey are very flexible. Sinister Starfishes, but I think in this pack I would take Ornithopter Paradise just to stay open because I mean, Mind Collapse is removal. I should mention that as well. I think I would take the Ornithopter of Paradise just to stay as open as possible. There are also they're like the artifact archetype is very real. Converge is it gives you a lot of flexibility. So I would take Ornithopter of Paradise. I wouldn't look sideways at anyone who took like probably. I wouldn't take Starfish over Greed. So if you took like one of those cards, I don't think I'd look sideways at you, but I would take the Ornithopter of Paradise. All right, next up, where did I put all the draft boosters? Over here. Over here. Yeah, Thopter's just got, I think it's deceptively flexible. The little sketch card. So this is just showing you that these different variants can show up in any kind of booster. Fancy little Floodhound there. We got our Terminate variant. Tireless Provisioner is strong. I like this Tide Shaper just because retro frame Tide Shaper. Snow Profane Tutor. Okay, so here, I mean, Profane Tutor is very strong. Tutors in Limited are really only as good as your strongest card, and waiting 2 turns to go get your strongest card is not super great, so I'm not wildly moved by Profane Tutor. So I would say Tireless Provisioner, Skyblade's Boon, Terminal Agony, Lightning Spear, World Weary, or maybe Floodhound. Yeah, like Terminal Agony is straight up the best card in the pack. It is 2 colors though, so it's more of a commitment, which is the hesitation there. I think I would either take. Let's see. I think these 3 are a cut above Floodhound and Skyblade's Boon. And I would either. I would. I think I'd take. I think I would take Terminal Agony. I think that's what I would take, but it's a bit of a commitment, so I'm not 100% sure about that. All right. Yeah, the variants can show up in different slots. They're with their friends. All right, Foul Watcher, Gouge Zealot, Orchard Strider, Vermin Gorger, Landscaper Kolos, Cabal Initiate, Faithless Salvaging, Jade Avenger, Aeromoeba, Retro Frame Brainstone, Mystic Redaction, Feast of Sanity, Angelic Curator, Piru, and a foil Thorn Glint Bridge. So I'm not like Piru is obviously very strong, but also very difficult to cast. So much so that I don't think I would commit to it here. I mean, you may sense a theme for me. I like to stay flexible, so I'd probably take the Brainstone. Again, it has applications in artifact archetypes. It's cool in the retro frame. There is a ton of fixing, but even with it, first of all, red, white, and black is like the worst color for fixing. But just the double red, double white, double black, even if you have a lot of fixing in your Mardu deck, makes it real hard to cast. Obviously, it's game winning if you can cast it, but it's still like that's 8 mana. It's 8 mana with very specific requirements. I don't think I would try to. Yeah, now reanimation target, that's legit. I think I would take the Brainstone though. But yeah, Piru as a reanimation target. There is a good deal of reanimation in this set. Black white reanimation is absolutely a theme. Yeah, and you can late for dinner it. Now the tricky thing about Piru is that it still has the upkeep. Like if you're reanimating it, all you're doing is creating a delayed wrath. Like during your next upkeep, if you can't pay for it, it's just going to die again. And yeah, it'll rat the board, but not many people are clamoring for planar collapse these days. And if you get that reference, you also might be an elder millennial. All right, we're gonna let's see. Yeah, I mean the lifelinking it is still sweet, and you would still, if you were already in Reanimator, you would 100% take Piru. It's very powerful, but I tend to favor flexibility. All right, because I want to, we're gonna use the last couple minutes to do a couple collector boosters. Actually, I want to do one more pack one pick one. That was kind of fun. Where did I put one more pack one pick one? Then collector boosters for the last like 3 minutes. We'll do this quick. Hard evidence. Card is really, really good, actually. Actually, it looks kind of innocuous, I guess I would say, and it's not. But actually, Tragic Fall is better than it. Squirrel Sanctuary is fun. Altar of the Goyf is fun. Lucid Dreams is okay. Hunted Pack. Inevitable Betrayal. So Inevitable Betrayal is probably not the pick just because you don't know what's in your opponent's deck. It's strong. I would play it. I guess I would pick it over Hard Evidence. It is better than Hard Evidence. I would probably pick Tragic Fall out of this one, though. It's just the straight up removal spell. You could argue that World Weary is better. I don't know. I haven't played the format enough. All right. Yeah, we can do it. Here, set boosters. People are asking for set boosters. Here's a set booster. Say Inevitable Betrayal has been nuts. It's totally possible that it is. It is really hard for me to say. I have not actually drafted the format, but Bribery is a strong card. All right, we got her. All right, so our theme for the first couple, we got a parcel mirror, we got a crack open. Oh, it's making tokens, right? And we got a shattered ego, though. No, I'm not sure what that connection is. Brainstone, Ether Sword Phoenix. Ooh, Timeless Dragon. So this is one of those. Oh, we got 3 rares in this one. So that can have set boosters can have up to 4 rares. In my case, I got a Timeless Dragon, a Goblin Bombardment, and a Foil Asmore. So that's pretty fun for a set booster. We'll do. All right. All right. We're gonna do. We're about out of time. So we're gonna just do one more collector booster. Top things off. All right. We got Break Ties, Nested Shambler, Hard Evidence, Fodder Tosser, Squirrel Sovereign, nice, Monoskellion, Mountain, Extended Dam, Acolyte, Magus of the Bridge, Foil, Sketch Timeless Witness, Amoeba, Marble Gargoyle, ooh, and look at that Foil Urza's Saga and a Foil Timeless Dragon. All right, one more set booster, and then we'll say, since Flava Dave 92 is getting a set booster box, we'll open another set booster pack. Give him a little preview of what's coming his way. Imagine you're him. Dave is a typically masculine name, but I apologize if that's not the case. All right, we got an art card for the Merfolk God. Plains, Urban Daggertooth, Smell Fear, Dusk Shell Crawler. All right, so we got green here. Green looks to be the theme there. Prismatic Ending, that's a strong one. We got some Converge cards here. Road to Ruin, Sylvan Anthem as a rare. Extruder, Sketch Late to Dinner, and Foil Mirror Scrappling. All right. Thank you. Will Urza's Saga get banned? It is way too early to tell. It is. I don't think so, but I'm not a modern expert. But that was a pretty good open. Yeah, and we'll just, where'd they go? Just to throw them out here, because there we go. Here are my friends. All right. Yeah, that was a good box. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This was a really fun show, just opening stuff and chatting with you guys. I really enjoyed that. So Modern Horizons 2 pre-releases start this weekend, and the set fully releases in paper the weekend after that. If you want to experience Modern Horizons 2 right now, you can play it on Magic the Gathering Online. Next week on Weekly MTG, we're going to have some artists on. We're going to have a little artist chat. So tune in for that for sure. Otherwise, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.